This is a fast-moving story at the moment. Remember the dogfight that took place in the air. Jets shot down now clearly by both the countries. India shot down an F-16, Pakistan shot down a MiG-21 Bison. Today, Pakistan went ahead and suspended the Samjhauta Express service as well, that the train service between the two countries. Clearly, tension is at its peak, but there was good news. The good news was that Imran Khan, the Pakistan Prime Minister, announced in the Pakistan National Assembly that Wing Commander Abhinandan, the Indian Air Force pilot in Pakistani custody, would be released tomorrow. Will this be enough to de-escalate tensions amidst mounting diplomatic pressure on both countries to scale down the conflict? Take a look at our top story tonight.
हिंदुस्तान का पायलट हमने पकड़ा हुआ है. हम एज ए पीस जेस्टर हम उसको कल रिहा करने लगे हैं हिंदुस्तान को वापस.
The surprise announcement came after reports of Saudi Foreign Minister Adel Al-Jubair's visit to Islamabad to convey an important message from the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In New Delhi, Saudi Arabia's ambassador to India called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This even as India mounted diplomatic offensive against Pakistan. In the wake of prevailing situation, Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale met diplomats from 10 countries, including Germany, Dominican Republic, Nigeria, South Africa and Belgium.
We have some reasonably decent news. I think hopefully that's going to be coming to an end. It's been going on for a long time, decades and decades. There's a lot of dislike, unfortunately. So we've been in the middle trying to help them both out, see if we can get some organization and some peace, and I think probably that's going to be happening.
Despite Pakistan sulking on the Organization of Islamic Cooperation meeting invite to India, Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj is all set to attend the meet.
Pakistan has already protested. What will be interesting is to see how the Islamic world is going to react to the heightened tensions in the Indian subcontinent. Will Pakistan attend? And if so, what is going to happen between India and Pakistan in Abu Dhabi?
On Wednesday, the External Affairs Minister attended the 16th Foreign Ministers meeting of Russia, India, China at Wuzhen in China.
India does not wish to see further escalation of this situation.
Meanwhile, 3 permanent veto-wielding members of the UN Security Council moved a fresh proposal in UNSC to designate Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar as a global terrorist. This listing by the USA, UK and France will subject him to global travel ban, asset freeze and arms embargo.
The big question that I want to raise right at the top tonight on this special broadcast: will Wing Commander Abhinandan's return de-escalate tension between India and Pakistan? Is diplomatic pressure slowly working on Islamabad? Will Pakistan actually act on the bigger question, the proof that we are providing against the Jaish-e-Mohammed? Just some of the questions that we will raise here at the top at this moment. I'm joined at the moment by KC Singh, former ambassador, one of the country's senior most diplomats, Dr. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Khushbu Sundar are joining me of the Congress. I'm going to come to them later because there's politics also being played out at the moment. I'll also be joined by Ajay Shukla, senior strategic affairs analyst. I'm also joined in the studio by Brigadier Mahalingam, and I'm also joined by a voice from Pakistan at the moment. Joining me at the moment from Pakistan will also be a special guest, Kazim Jinali. I appreciate your joining us there from Pakistan as well. Thank you all very much for joining me. First, let's turn to what's been the big story at the moment. And the big story, KC Singh, is that Imran Khan today in the Parliament of Pakistan announced that Wing Commander Abhinandan is being returned back tomorrow. Now, he's doing it as per Geneva Convention, but do you believe that this is a goodwill gesture, or was it done because he had no choice, given the fact that there was mounting diplomatic pressure on Pakistan?
Well, he called it a peace tester, from what you played out on your channel. I've had to rewrite 2 op-eds today, so there's a lot of extra work because it happened so fast. The fact remains that as far as the world is concerned, he would appear a statesman, someone who is go the extra step. He becomes difficult to demonize. You know, we've ridiculed him by calling him Taliban Khan and this and that. I call it a diplomatic reverse swing. But we got a hint from President Trump. But frankly, I discounted it because I thought Trump is often not fully briefed when he said some good news is around the corner, which means this has been orchestrated by US, by Saudis and Emiratis working together. And that's why the Saudi foreign minister was there. If that is the case, then there is more to it than just the release, which means that they're trying to first create a gap between India and Pakistan so that no more raids are conducted across the LOC, no further provocation is there. So I think the scope for any adventurism by either side is curtailed now. So, like figuratively speaking, were we to now conduct a raid, it'll be taken amiss by those who have played the intermediaries, by the global public opinion. Not that we are planning to do anything. I'm just simply stating that this does create a situation where the first step has been taken to de-escalate. But that doesn't mean that there is total de-escalation. And that's why I think India put out the 3 service representatives who came out to reassure the nation, etc. So we have to keep the military option on the table as the Security Council looks at the Masood Azhar case, as Americans and the Emiratis and the Saudis build up more pressure and Imran Khan starts delivering on the dismantling of the terror network. I think that will be that, but essentially I would imagine active operations across the LOC and all would be unimaginable now in the near future.
You're saying that those active operations would be unimaginable, but if the strategic objective of the airstrikes 2 days ago was the dismantling of Pakistan's terror infrastructure, we are nowhere close to that. At the moment, what have we got? Imran Khan, in a goodwill gesture, is returning, he says, Wing Commander Abhinandan. It's as per Geneva Conventions. Is it enough for you to believe that the time has come to start de-escalation, Brigadier Malingam?
No, not at all. First of all, as I see it, this whatever has happened is a good gesture, and the release of the pilot came much earlier than what I expected. And third important thing is that the announcement was made in the Parliament of Pakistan. These are the 3 important things. As far as the rest of this is concerned, it only signifies one thing, that Pakistan is not willing to escalate the military options any further. That is what it implies. But it also implies, as far as I am concerned, that Pakistan is not going to give up on the terrorism, because that has inbuilt sort of deniability.
So do we de-escalate or not? Do we de-escalate? Do we de-escalate simply because at the moment Pakistan has taken this one step?
No.
Has the time come to de-escalate on the Indian side as well?
No, not at all. Because we came there with the clear aim that we must end the terror emanating from Pakistan. That is why.
But that's a long-term strategy. That's a long-term strategy. How can we now at least de-escalate for now or not?
No, not yet, unless certain sort of assurances come. We need to get certain assurances with regard to terrorism, because Pakistan, as I believe, will continue with this sort of terror acts, because that it's his aim. You must also see one very important thing. Pakistan did not stop this, release this man because of somebody coming there. Yes, it had a part to play. But the point to remember is, Pakistan was not confident of confronting Indian army, number one. And number two, Pakistan's military, it was a very great setback. Setback firstly because Indian Air Force went inside, and secondly it came back without getting hurt at all.
Okay, your point taken. Let me therefore then turn to you, Shahzad Dani, to give me a view from Islamabad. What is it that pushed Imran Khan to take this decision today? Was it diplomatic pressure, as KC Singh has suggested, or was it that the Pakistan army has limited military options at the moment and needs to get out of the situation they find themselves in? What explains Imran Khan's decision today?
Well, Imran Khan has spoken on India-Pakistan tension 3 times since it began. and his message has been fairly consistent that we do not want escalation, we don't want to go to war, we need to have talks. And the manner in which he spoke today in the parliament, I mean, ever since he's come to power, we haven't seen this kind of unanimity across the aisle.
But there was not a single word. There was not a single word on India's core. Sorry, there was not a single word in that speech today on India's core demand that Pakistan act on Masood Azhar. This is 24 hours after India has given an extensive dossier to Pakistan. So I'm trying to understand, is Imran Khan hoping that by releasing the wing commander, India will now back off of that core demand? Is that what the hope is? No. De-escalate and let's leave it for another day. Because India's core demand still remains act against Masood Azhar.
So, I mean, you have to look at current tensions and the immediate sort of short-term steps that the two countries need to take. In the medium to long term, obviously issues which matter to India, which is terrorism, and issues which matter to Pakistan, that's Kashmir, will have to be sorted. What I think Imran Khan is saying is that first step we need to take is de-escalate, which means no air raids, no more threats, and ceasefire essentially. Once you've had that,
right.
You know, India can get on with its election, and maybe 3 months, 4 months down the road, they can get down to real issues. We have reports here that Saudi Arabia, UAE, the United States, UK are all playing a part in trying to build that kind of trust, that the situation does not deteriorate. We freeze where we are. It won't be sorted in the next couple of months, but once India is done with elections, there is willingness on the Pakistani side to sit down and sort out things. One thing I just want to mention very quickly, do bear in mind that Pakistan is under pressure from the Financial Action Task Force for funding terrorist organizations and militants. That pressure is, I think, far more strong, is being felt than anything that India says or does. And Pakistan is quite keen to rein in some of these militant groups.
Well, Pakistan, by reining in these groups, will have to break with history and break with the past. But it's interesting that you brought in that element of that Financial Assistance Task Force. But Ajay Shukla, I was interested in seeing how you responded on social media to Imran Khan's comments. You seem to suggest that Imran Khan had won this round. He was winning the perception battle, the PR battle. Do you believe that's actually happened? Or was this a case of Pakistan being pushed to the corner and having no choice but to send out this goodwill gesture?
Rajdeep, before I respond to that question, let me just point out that all of you have completely missed the story that has come out of this press conference given by the three military generals today. The story is today, and that should be running on all your tickers, that India has de-escalated the crisis. Let me read out the statement, the last two paragraphs of the army statement that came. It says, despite the present turn of events, the Indian Army is committed to maintaining peace and stability in the region. Peace and stability in the region. The Indian Army is committed to maintaining. The next paragraph mentions, I wish to assure the nation that we are fully prepared and in a heightened state of readiness to respond to any provocation by Pakistan. That means the provocation will now not come from India. If there is provocation, it has to come from Pakistan. So this is a statement, a clear statement of de-escalation. It follows the release of the pilot by a few hours. It has been negotiated in the back channels by Donald Trump and his officials, working in conjunction with Indian and Pakistani negotiators. The crisis is officially over.
No, you're making an important point.
Ajay, sorry to intervene. Things to wind down, for the battle of the rhetoric to play out back and forth.
You're saying the crisis is over. You're saying your interpretation of the statement that has been made this evening at that joint press conference is enough evidence for you to believe that there is a negotiated back channel statement to de-escalate.
Rajdeep, this is not my interpretation. Let me read out the words to you. These are the words of the Army's written statement. The Indian Army is committed to maintaining peace and stability in the region. And it goes on to say, we are in a heightened state of readiness to respond to any provocation by Pakistan. People have stopped reading statements any longer. This is how de-escalation takes place. It always takes place buried in some innocuous paragraph of a statement so that both sides can maintain face. But I read this completely as a de-escalatory statement. The crisis, as far as I am concerned, the military part of it is over.
KC Singh, the military part of it is over. Where does that therefore leave our core demand that started this post-Pulwama? Act against terror, act against Masood Azhar, dismantle the terror infrastructure. What happens to those core demands? Are we saying that this entire operation at the end of the day was only to send out a signal to draw a line in the sand without actually getting anything concrete in return from the Pakistanis?
No, you're getting something concrete. The concrete will follow. Don't forget there's a UN Security Council resolution which has been moved. If the Chinese don't veto it, then Masood Azhar would get listed. That would be the first signal that the Pakistanis have stopped resisting that. With the Saudis and the Americans, and I told you in the beginning only that the fact that that President Trump spoke up meant that the back channels had been worked, and this was choreographed already, and the release was not a standalone event. It was a public event to convey that there is de-escalation, but the first few steps are there. Now, essentially, it provides space for India to have a peaceful election. And in the meanwhile, those things are churning because the next meeting of FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, is in November. So if Pakistan has to get their act together, because if Masood Azhar is listed, then they have to go after him. Otherwise, they'll get listed by FATF because it's a Security Council resolution now. So those things will be choreographed into it. Now, how it pans out, we'll know over the next couple of months or 3 months.
Right.
But essentially, space is being created so that this tension dissipates for the time being. It doesn't mean that we have given up a core issue. It doesn't mean Pakistan is going to act tomorrow morning. They'll have to get their act together. But essentially, it means one doctrine we have established by the current one, which is that we can and will in the future take unilateral action against anybody conducting a terror operation in India. That is established. We are not giving up that principle. But that doesn't mean you will use that every time or you will continue to use it day after day. So you can use it selectively, as does Israel, as do Americans. They don't have a drone strike every day. They do a targeted drone strike. So now I think this choreography has to be modulated. But BJP's problem is that they have to now temper it down. They can't continue to use this all the way to the elections and go back to the bread and butter issues as the opposition's 21 parties said.
Okay, let me, that's a good point on which I need to take a break because Sambit Patra and Khushbu Sundar have been waiting patiently. I don't know when Sambit Patra has waited so long to actually intervene in a TV debate, but I wanted to focus first on the diplomats and the military experts. After the break, we'll turn to the politics because the politics now is playing out. We are in an election season, and as KC Singh said, will this rhetoric continue right through this election season?
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.